Welcome back to another episode of the Day After Podcast.
$500 for smart, but not sponsored for this popcorn. What's up, guys? We had we had a really awesome episode. Episode 8 was fantastic.
Yeah.
Twists, turns. We learned more about a scenario we didn't really think of.
We learned more about how the game actually works, which is going to be crazy. Now go back to those branch deals, and now a lot of new things. Like that's the thing that I actually took away from this episode the most is that we got new information of the game, because now what we thought before is if there were three people tied, we would assume that those three people can't vote because they have to vote. But the fact is they could still vote for the other two. They could still switch their vote around. So it's no longer like they just lose their vote and now where the votes go. It is just straight up, like they all get to still vote on that revote. So
that is pretty cool.
So learning how the reason why that they don't vote is now definitely changes, some strategy in my opinion.
Well, the thing is, it's a very specific set of circumstances too, because Sam lost his vote during the Survivor auction. Fun fact, on the Discord game that I am playing, everyone, the last immunity challenge was a auction, and and the person, and it was for immunity. So basically, you had to choose a random chest and hope that it had immunity in it. And then the person with the most money left would lose their vote. So the fact that this happened the same episode, or like literally the same day as like the tribal council we had of this was insane. But a little bit of that aside, let's go back to this. This was this was a fun episode. Rachel has skyrocketed in my on my list of like people that I love. She is without a doubt VIP. She did like one of the smartest moves, I think, in the new era. I don't know, but like, here's the thing. Let's talk about it a little bit. She played her shot in the dark.
Yeah.
To gauge everyone's reaction. And because everyone was like, okay, she did not have to play her idol, which I think is super smart.
Yeah. I feel like in the early days of the shot in the dark, we talked about this concept. I feel like I remember us thinking about it. So
you might have.
Yeah, because when she did it, I was like, I can't remember the exact, but I was like, I feel like Ryan and I have mentioned this like in like season 42 or something like that.
I did recently watch about an episode of Idle Out of like different strategies that aren't used often, because I know Nick in David versus Goliath did a similar thing with a fake idol to kind of gauge reactions.
Yeah. Which is smart. I mean, honestly, if you have an idol, make a fake idol and play that first.
You never know.
Yeah.
But no, I love this this episode. I loved the auction. I loved gathering for the money. Sam got to do the whole
his
voice announcer,
yeah,
which was hilarious. There was a lot of awesome moments in this episode, and also you lost someone, so.
And she was the most likely person of my remaining people who I think we would think maybe could win the game. So
Soul can win this thing. Soul can win this
thing. He had a better edit. Like his edit has skyrocketed, but it still feels like he's either going to come up just a little short in some regard. I still don't see him as a winner.
Here's the thing, Joe, if Soul wins this, or if Gabe wins this, I'm not even going to be upset, because it was such a huge come from behind victory for you. I won't even be mad.
I'm gonna not consider it a win on my part, especially if it's Gabe, because Gabe would be essentially like getting a Gabler for me, because he was my last pick. It would be wild. They're setting up Gabe to be, I think, like the final boss of the season, going out at like 6 or 5, maybe fire making, but I think like 6-5 is like we got to get this thread out for the winner to get to the end. But I also think the winner edit of Andy is just like astronomically high. I just feel like
I agree.
This episode, especially, and okay, he only got 2 confessionals, by the way, but I felt like
Really,
I felt like he was like driving the episodes.
Not only that, he had the sexy
Yeah,
librarian moment.
yeah, well, that heroic moment, like, and like we saw,
Sexy librarian.
yeah, okay, but I'm gonna call it the heroic moment because winners like to
I'm gonna call it sexy librarian.
winners always have this heroic moment that we see in a season
Okay.
where they're like, I'm about to go do this thing that's going to win me the game, that's going to make me the best player of the season. And we had Andy have that moment. We had the strategy start with from Andy's perspective. We saw his idea was the seeds that essentially led the Sierra vote, which Sierra going home is the best case scenario for Andy because he was less aligned with her than Sam.
Yeah.
Having Sam around is still going to be that big shield for the Gata members that, Andy's never going home before Sam. Like, that's just never going to happen. So I just think that Andy has literally positioned himself so well. And then people are going to be like, well, Andy can't get the votes at the end. I truly believe that if he's the only Gata at the end, I think he can get all 3 Gata members. I think that his story of being this tribe that gets taken out. I saw you guys as these big threats that were taking me on as a goat. I think he can get those votes. And then I think if Soul and Genevieve are on the jury, we have shown that those two both like Andy. They want to work with Andy. Those 2 are on the jury. That's 5. That's enough to win the game.
I think you're totally right. I think if it's not him, I think Teeny has another winner edit. But I feel like we've been hearing a lot of stuff from Andy's point of view and a lot of things. So it is suggesting that it is going to be an Andy win.
Yeah, Teeny is like there, but what is her story? Like, what truly is like the Teeny story that we need to be told right now? Because I feel like we just kind of know that she's kind of likable. Like, everyone kind of likes her, but we don't really know. Like, that's not like that compelling story that Survivor likes to give us in a winner.
You make a fair point.
That's the story that we always get of the person who goes out at Final 5. Like,
you make a fair point. I'm just like thinking, based off the edit, who are the possible people? I feel after this episode, I don't know. I don't know if I see a Rachel win yet.
Yeah, she's becoming
I think it might be a thing.
Target.
I think she is, but at the same time, she's also becoming a bit more powerful. Also, she has a big ally in Soul.
Yeah.
Like, Soul was like, no, I love Soul in this. It was like, I invested too much time into keeping Rachel for her to go home. And the very next thing, it was like, no, like, we can wait. We need to break up this duo. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I am not a fan of him actually telling her. I mean, maybe she'll keep it a secret about the whole safety without power, but she lets one person know, everyone in camp's going to know. And now suddenly Soul is not the kind of dumb media guy who's just kind of like there for a good time. He becomes the strategist who made a huge impactful move that's, changed the game.
It's true. I think the thing is for Rachel, does she want to work with Soul? It feels like she does.
Yeah.
So it's like that's information, she can have her back pocket, but I don't, at least in this point in the game, I don't see her using that.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's going to be like right away, but the second that she feels like she needs to make a move against Soul and his allies, that's the thing that she's going to use to like make people not trust Soul, and suddenly he becomes, that threat. So if it's now completely in Soul's game is now in Rachel's hands. Like, Rachel has his life, and it's up to Rachel if she wants to keep it around or if she wants to snuff it out.
That is fair. I think it behooves her to keep Soul around, especially because I think Soul is a good ally for her.
Yeah. It's just one of those things, like, if her name is suddenly on the block, does she just like say, okay, it's me, and keep it to a secret, and then maybe go out? Like, I know she has an idol, but like she plays in the next tribal, she's also in trouble. Like, you're gonna you have to get the target on someone eventually.
The thing is, even if you play the idol, that's still one more day. I know. And another thing we got to talk about is, we have our comp beast right now. In it's Kevin, right?
Kyle.
Fuck.
No.
If it makes you feel better, I have, for whatever reason, my entire life confused the two names.
Great. I mean, he's not getting too much straight time. Also,
He's getting a lot.
I put an
He's getting a lot.
asterisk. I put an asterisk next to him being a 3-time immunity challenge winner, because he's really only a 2-time immunity challenge winner, but because he got 3rd place in a weird split tribal thing, he is the only one who won individual immunity. So
no, that counts. That counts.
It's an asterisk. You can put the number there, but it's an asterisk. If he gets 5 immunities this season, I do not put him in the same category
Disagree.
as the others.
In the comments below, break this tie. Also, you guys love me more, so please side with me.
I don't know. I think that everyone hates the Matrix and Neo and himbos and
Listen. No, people love himbos. Do you know how many times people listen to I Love Ken?
A disturbing number.
People love the Kenergy.
Well, anyways, he got 3rd place in the challenge regardless. That's not 1st place in a challenge. So
he got individual immunity. It is an individual. Yeah. It is an individual immunity win.
I think Teeny and Genevieve also should be getting that credit, but I don't think no one's claiming those two as winning the challenge. Like, they won it, but they're like, Jeff's not going to be like, this is your 2nd individual immunity when they do it, because they technically haven't worn the necklace, which even though they beat Kyle, who won it.
You have a point, and I'm okay with there being asterisk. However, I'm like, you still won it. Anyway.
Yeah, you're too positive, Brian. You got to be negative. You got to hate on these weird rules that don't make sense. In the
listen. I am negative about myself and how I'm perceived and my future. I try and spread positivity to cover that up. And so I will be positive when it comes to Kyle or Kevin or Calvin, whatever his name is. I know it's Kyle now. But yeah. But no, like, especially because he has been kind of like on this streak right now. There's been so much like eyes on him where it's like, yeah, we have to take him out if he doesn't win again, because it's like 3 times in a row. And he's even aware of it too.
Yeah. I mean, he made it very clear that it's just a threat. I mean, Kyle is at this situation where he kind of has to win out. I think if you are a person who thinks they're going to win a lot of challenges, you should not want to win those first like 2 or 3 immunity challenges, because it is literally just like threat. It is just like saying this person is going to be the biggest threat in terms of challenges. And a lot of people want to win those like final few immunities, because that's the most important parts of the game, is getting to the end, and securing yourself in like a final 5 or a final 4 immunity is super important. So eventually there's going to be a challenge that someone else is going to be better at than Kyle, and you just got to be like, how many challenges are there of that, and then make the move of like, okay, this is the one, we got to take out this person right now.
Yeah. I think it's tough in the beginning, because I don't blame him for, especially because it was like the earn the merge, air quotes, for that one. So I don't blame him for trying his hardest there. The second one also, it's like one of those things where the second asterisk one, also, like, don't blame him there because that's the last one to that's a final pre-jury spot. You don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. I think the thing is, like, early on, you're always so nervous, so like you
Yeah.
want that immunity.
Yeah.
I feel like if you're someone that can be easily labeled as a comp beast,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like, if you feel you're comfortable and you have a good position in the game.
Yeah, I think if you're someone like Charlie, you could get away with winning some early challenges because he is good at challenges like generally, but like he doesn't come off as like
Challenge beast.
he's not going to it doesn't feel like he's beasting out the last like few challenges that are just keeping and gatekeeping that from people. He's going to be good at challenges, but he's always going to seem like he's like above average in challenges compared to a lot of these other guys like Kyle. Sam is another one who I think Sam is not trying to necessarily win these challenges right now. Which now I think the warning signs are now on, and now he might be trying a lot harder. So I wouldn't be surprised if Sam wins the next challenge, causing Kyle to go home. For Kyle not having it.
Yeah. Because right now, Sam, he lost his number one. He feels completely on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, yeah, I think also the smart thing about Rachel, and we kind of saw this in 44 a little bit, where playing your safety without power, or not your safety without power, your shot in the dark, also kind of keeps your sides ambiguous. So like she can go back to like Sam and like potentially work with him, or she can go here. She just kind of has to like figure out what she wants to do. There is a pro and con to not having your vote. One of the pros actually is hiding who you're aligned with.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done this in one of my orgs when they had shot in the darks. I had two alliances that wanted that I couldn't vote for this person. My group wanted to vote for this other person who I didn't want to go home. So I played my shot in the dark just as like I don't want to have to make a decision here because I just be revealing my hand. It still didn't end up working out for me too much in that game, but it is definitely a strategy that is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
I
think
mean, it worked out pretty well in 44 for
yeah.
everyone except for Kane, because
Mm-hmm.
like Kane didn't have a vote, or like Kane was the only one that voted for I'm forgetting his name, but the big muscle
Yeah.
man.
Matthew?
Right.
No.
No, Matthew and Fran are the ones that like were lovey dovey.
No. There was two Matts on that season. There was Matt and Matthew.
No, Matthew sacrificed his vote.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the target. It was like, is it Brandon? Big buff NFL guy.
Oh yeah. Brandon Cotton.
Yeah. So like, that left Kane on the outs because he was the only one that voted for Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
And then Maddie went home there. I think her name was Maddie.
Yeah, Maddie Pamela or something like that.
Yeah.
Pamela.
Um so yeah. So it's one of those things where, and I think even if you do it early merge and stuff, it's not a bad idea. The thing is, do it if you feel safe, or if she felt safe because she had that idol, which I think it is a brilliant move what she did.
Yeah. It's it was definitely good. I view Rachel as like a great player. Like I think she is absolutely great. I just feel like it's going to be one of those things where it's like 4 episodes from now, like she's going to just be looked at as the threat that you got to take
I
out.
can see it.
And I could easily, and yeah, I could see her getting like a 7th place maybe finish. Like, 7th placers, by the way, great strategic threats. Like I know it from my personal experience of being a 7th place finisher.
Working on it, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Currently in my Survivor org, I am at my highest point ever at 9. Just have to get past this vote that I can be at 8, my unlucky number, get past a few more, and then I can surpass you and then you can stop rubbing it in your face that you're better than me, at
well,
least in the org world.
Well, let's bring in someone who has done worse than you, Ryan. We
Oh
got.
my God, is it? Is it?
We got a special guest here. We got the Matt Noel. Here he
Matt, what the
is.
fuck?
Surprise!
We get to make fun. We get to make fun of. We get to make fun of Joe now.
Yay! Joe sucks.
I was the one who just messaged you about bringing you on here. So.
Well, thanks for bringing me on, just so I can finally roast you.
Good to see you, Matt. Yeah, I'm sorry. I felt super bad last episode that you were the only one that missed out on making fun of Joe.
Well, now here I am. I'm back, just like the Survivor auction is back.
Yeah. Survivor auction was fantastic, and they added different stuff to it. They did bring back the whole thing about they did to bring the thing. It's like, all right, it's a number. You don't know when it's going to end, and you're going to lose your vote. They brought back a lot of the stuff from 45, but they brought in some things to make a twist, like there being an auction challenge, that there's going to be a cashback thing. And I'm like, okay, this is like, they've done a lot of cool things with this, and it was like interesting to watch.
Yeah, I still have the gripes with the idea of the meta of the Survivor auction right now. Of once you hit a certain point, you just gotta spend all of your money, whoever has the most. And it's like you're not really betting on what you want. You're betting on because this is my time now to throw out my money.
Yeah. And but I was just letting Joe know that I was in an org where for immunity, that's how it kind of went. And the person with the highest amount lost their vote. But yeah, so like it is kind of like a stressful thing too. It's like, okay, you're just hoping that you don't have enough left.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why like Teeny spends all of her money right away on mac and cheese because
I would do that too.
Yeah. I would do that too because that looked like some good mac and cheese.
It was pretty good.
That was huge too.
Yeah, I mean, I want like a margarita if I was out there. That would be my go-to. Like those chips and salsa.
You should not do that because, as I've learned today, the last 4 people to get the margarita at the auction are voted out that episode.
That is pretty wild. That's right. I'm like going back and I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, because Kelly in 45, Jen in Worlds Apart, and then Sierra in Kagiat. I think.
What the hell?
Oh no,
that's crazy.
It was Jeffra.
Yeah. It was Jeffra. I knew it was a blonde.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if you want a good time, get a margarita. But if you want to go home, also get a margarita.
Decisions.
Yeah. But Sierra deserved to go because I don't know if you noticed this, but during the auction when she bid on the margarita, she bid 800. Even though the next closest person to her was only like 700, so she actually bid too much.
Yeah, she wasted $100. Yeah. I'm guessing that she just thought, it's not going to get below a 200 threshold or something like that. But I don't know. I feel like I feel like if she was trying to play the numbers game of getting another item, she did go a little wrong with it.
Yeah. You either had to do like half of that or not at all. Like yeah.
I really liked the Kyle moment with the chicken wings as being a vegetarian, and he comes and it, like, listen, if you're a vegetarian, vegan, whatever, like that's good for you. But like if you're out there on the island, like you should definitely be willing to try some stuff like this. I wonder. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he was sick afterwards because a lot of people who haven't eaten meat in a long time do not process it very well. So
like High in 42 had like a similar scenario where it's like, going out there with dietary restrictions, like granted, mostly what you're going to eat is like coconut when you're out there. And then hopefully like some fish.
Yeah.
That's going to be the main of your diet. So it's like, I get it. Like I'm not vegan or vegetarian. I've known quite a few people who are, and it's like, mostly it's a principle thing as opposed to like just dietary thing. And so like it is tough for people because it is a thing of like breaking morals, but at the same time it's like it's tough too. Like also I think the thing is it was like I think it's like to waste that food in front of everyone who is starving,
Yeah.
especially like Andy, who got $0 in
Yeah.
that one. So he can't get shit. I will say too, another thing that kind of irritated me was that for the snacking challenge where it was like the peanut butter and chocolate,
Yeah.
you could have gotten Andy in because like Andy didn't get shit during that.
Yeah, I think I think you should, if you're a nice person, you give that to Andy and Gabe, because those are the
Yes.
two people who Gabe got screwed. I guess Caroline also got screwed with the fisheye, so maybe that was the reasoning.
Shoot.
So, yeah, I guess it was just like, Andy, you can't find a tube, so you don't deserve anything.
No, they've been shitting on Andy for far too long.
Yeah,
And now he got his revenge.
but that was definitely fun though. Just watching him try to find the tubes, and he's just walking by every single one. Like, how do you not find a tube? I know Sierra is great at Easter egg hunts, but this is insane.
Yeah, how did he find the idol first? By the way, like the beware advantage, like he found it, he put it back, which is dumb, but like he did find it. He found that, which is harder than those tubes.
Jesus Christ. I don't know. I think maybe it was like the adrenaline of everything. Also, like everyone was going for it at the same time.
Yeah, I think he gets I think he has performance anxiety. I think that's what happens a lot, is like when he gets kind of put in the pressure, he does things that he probably even knows isn't right, but he's just so like, I just got to do it and go, and that he doesn't actually think about it.
Yeah, he also brought up the classic movie She's All That. So what are your guys' thoughts on She's All That?
I have not seen it.
Oh my God.
This sounds like a movie I've seen.
all it is just Rachel Lee Cook is like the ugly girl, and then all Freddie Prinze Jr. does is just take down her hair and take off her glasses, and then now she's the popular girl.
I call that the sexy librarian moment.
Oh, yeah.
Joe just like, oh, it's just the hero moment. It's like, no, it is sexy librarian moment.
I don't know. It felt like Superman to me, like Clark Kent taking off his glasses.
That could work too.
Which he's a hero, so heroic moments.
What are you saying, that librarians aren't heroes too? Or just
not
sexy
not in this economy. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, not at all. No, I was just saying hero because I just think Andy's win Reddit is skyrocketing like significantly. The game is being told through Andy's eyes. We are learning how this game and dynamics are through the eyes of Andy, who we thought we all wrote off after episode 1. So it's like weird. It's like he can't win after that episode, but it's like after that, the edit itself has been only showing him in a positive light, and then they'll have like a few like, this person's like, Andy is being stupid here, and then immediately they get undercuts by either strategy of Andy now working with other people to vote them off, or just completely like, look at Andy actually being really smart. It almost reminds me of Fabio in 21, almost, of where like everyone dunked on Fabio because they were like, this guy is dumb. Fabio in a conventional was like, I'm actually really smart. And that was the story that gets told. I feel like right now everyone is underestimating Andy. And that's the story. He knows everyone's underestimating him. He's told us, well, we actually hear him talk things out, and we see the strategy working in his brain. And they're not like, look at this dumb strategy that Andy's working on. It's like, this is the strategy that's we care about of the season.
Yeah.
So let's go, Andy. I'm an Andy stan.
I am. I am an Andy stan as well. Yeah. I've been digging his edit.
Yeah. I'm on the Rachel bandwagon though, so I'm going for Rachel.
Yes, I was talking up like the shot in the dark thing was like one of the smartest moves in the new era. Yeah. Like she's getting my MVP of this thing, like hands down.
Yeah, I just feel like she's a great player, but is going to become this big threat in like 3 or 4 episodes. She's going to be like the person everyone is looking to figure out how to take out.
I mean, they've already had for the past 2 episodes, so yeah. I feel like she has extended her stay here, but eventually it will catch up.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like she's playing the idol either at the next episode or the episode after that, and then she's probably going out the door an episode or 2 later after that. That's my guess.
No way, man. She's going to win. Come on. I'm hoping for it.
I was talking to Joe before you come on about a possible like I don't want to say dark horse, but it's like it's one of those things like we all wrote off Gabler in the beginning. It could be a thing of like with Rachel of like we're starting to see it more, and if it's something that if you watch back, is it there? Who knows?
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah. I think something really important that happened in episode 1 was the relationship between Rachel and Andy. And we got that almost as like if they were a duo. And then the next episode, it was like Rachel and Annika. And it was kind of like weird how they set up the Rachel Andy dynamic and then like kind of went somewhere else with like their relationships. So I wonder if like that is going to be something that comes up later on of like those two almost becoming this power duo that no one sees coming.
That'd be awesome.
yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what else in the auction. So yes, uh Sam is the one who ends up with the most money because they only got 12, which by the way, I guess 12 is a great number. I'd rather have it on the higher end. It's gonna suck if they keep doing this and we get like a 6 or a 7, because then we're gonna feel like we got robbed.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, it just kind of ended up working that way where Sam's just the one who unfortunately rolled the wrong dice.
The thing is, it was like if he didn't go for that like pancake breakfast,
yeah,
like he would have had enough money to gamble with and to like bet everything on later on in the auction. Also, kind of like what a thing of like I was talking about how they, kind of like really spiced up this Survivor auction. The fact that they had like that they brought back an eating challenge for it's like, all right, it's not gonna be an immunity challenge, but we're gonna have like, it's like you have to eat bugs if you want. I'm like, ooh, and it brought back old survivors. So I'm like, I was like, no. Like
they should bring back the after one where they shot the boat into the cow and then they had to drink warm blood.
Yeah, that's that's the great one to bring back. Yeah, totally. But no, I think I love the idea of doing challenges for items. I think that is actually something I'd love to see more of, because it really is kind of like who's like they get to see the item, they get to know, and we get to kind of like attach these people to like they are willing to spend this much money for this specific item instead of it just like spend your money on whatever's next to get a covered item. I was with friends watching this and they were so grossed out when it started coming out of Sue's mouth when she started spitting it back up.
Oh. No, that was not pleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I enjoyed it. I think a bad auction is still better than a lot of things that we see on Survivor. I just love the auction.
I don't think it's
so
a bad
much.
auction. I don't think it's a bad auction.
I wasn't saying it was a bad auction. I'm saying just like even though I have gripes with certain things of this auction, like this auction format, I think it's still better than almost like anything else that we get on a regular episode of Survivor. It's just so fun.
It is
100%. Yeah. The food this season has actually been really good too. Like every food reward, like they get a lot of food. So is New Era really the toughest it has ever been, Jeff?
Yeah. Well, people complained about like just getting a roasted chicken in 45. So
without even a plate.
Yeah.
You couldn't get like a paper plate from craft services. Like that was my thing. They didn't have utensils or anything. I'm like, no, like what the fuck?
Yeah, so I don't know. I enjoy when they have great meals out there. Like I enjoy. It's great seeing them enjoy the food instead of just like going, okay, I guess I got some substance. Now let's talk strategy more. Like I want to see the like orgasmic, just like, oh, that's so good. That hits the spots.
I can't wait for the Applebee's this season. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Who do you think anyone would be upset like Liz? I feel like Liz has earned from Karishma the queen of Applebee's.
Yeah.
Like
I still like Karishma's. It's like my favorite sit-down restaurant.
Yeah, she felt like she was trying to get a sponsorship. Like
you leave her alone. I feel her pain.
Yeah.
When you have over 20 votes against you in a single season, let's see how you feel. I share your pain, Karishma. You are seen.
Yeah. She was my winner pick that season, so
she was.
Yeah.
Wow,
she was.
That's probably not
we
a good
base
one.
it. Here's the thing, Matt. I know you based it off the first episode. We base it off of preseason.
Oh, man, I don't watch any of that stuff because it just affects it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's fun to theorize and all that.
Yeah, I've kind of taken a little step back of drafting, which maybe was a mistake for this season. Maybe I should. Yeah, maybe I should.
It has brought us quality. It has brought us quality content.
Yeah,
and that's all that matters.
Even last episode when you didn't lose someone, it was still funny and still something. It has brought a whole story arc to our reviews,
which is why Soul or Game needs to win the season, because that would be the perfect ending.
That would be.
I told you I would not be upset if you did. Yeah. He is your Soul Survivor.
Yeah. That he would be the most legendary Survivor winner if he wins because of his name.
Yeah, exactly. No, he comes back. He's actually the one that comes back for 50.
Yeah,
he wins. And then that's the it of Survivor, because that's like the Iron Man snap right there. That's the perfect thing that encapsulates 50 seasons of gameplay.
I feel like Andy has a really good case of being out there again on 50. I feel like at least like the edited loves him so much that it just feels like if it's not Rome, it's going to be Andy.
Yeah,
it could be TK.
TK making the return, or John Lovett. You know what?
I mean, I can actually see John coming back because Jeff loves him.
Yeah, Jeff said before the first episode that John Lovett was one of the best storytellers that they have ever brought out on Survivor.
Yeah, that's why I drafted him, and it did not work out.
Yeah, I know. I specifically had him as my second pick instead of a winner pick because I was like, I know he can go out early because that's just like the archetype of John Lovett. But I was really upset that he went out first because like he would have been entertaining if he made it like did like a David Wright performance or Dr. Mike from Healers vs. Hustlers.
Oh, wow. Dr. Mike reference. I haven't heard that one in a while.
I know. I
like Dr. Mike. I think I feel like 35 is a deep cut season or at least like obviously Ben and like I feel like obviously Ben, Chrissy, and Ryan are like up there, but I feel like Devin sometimes gets left in the dust. I think like he's also up there, but I feel like that final three gets a lot of love. Devin is just like obviously the fallen angel. But I feel like Dr. Mike is one of the people from that season where if you watch that season, he does shine in his own light. And I feel like he deserves a lot of love. He's such a unique individual.
I think if there was a returning season before New Era that wasn't Winners at War and he got to be on it, I think he could have been like like everyone knows Dr. Mike, but because it's been so long and it's kind of in that season and it kind of just gets forgotten a little bit, he's kind of just in like a unfortunate like I remember he was a urologist. Like that's probably the extent a lot of like casual fans might
he also burned the idol. He threw the idol into the fire.
Yeah
Dude's a boss.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on now to the immunity challenge. So this has been a immunity challenge classic. We see it almost all the time. I do like that they did it by gender because the fact that this is like by your original body weights, a lot of the times the guys, maybe they're a little bigger, so they've lost more body weight, so it can be a little tougher. Girls, maybe they've only lost like 7 pounds comparatively, or so I kind of like that they separated them this way because it felt a little more even than across gender lines. And yet again, we see who the strongest challenge competitors are in Kyle and Sue. Winning again. I was rooting for Andy. When Andy was up against Kyle, I was like, let's go, Andy.
I was too. But like, I feel like the thing, like, I was too. Like, I was definitely rooting for Andy in that situation. I'm like, come on, you can pull this out. But like for me, Sue, like, even though she's only 45, like the fact that she outlasted so many of these young people just proves how much of a boss ass bitch she is, and I love her for it. Like I think she deserves a lot more confessionals that she is getting, because I'm like, I love Sue. Like as soon as I read her bio, I fell in love. I was like, I love this woman. I hope she makes it deep in this game. And this was one of the examples of it.
Yeah, they started strong with Sue, but it feels like her edit has really kind of tapered off these last couple episodes. So we now, by the way, Ryan, have a tiebreaker because we were having a pretty big discussion about would you put an asterisk next to Kyle's 3 immunity wins right now?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, Ryan was trying to say no. He's trying to say no. That's a fair.
He's still one individual. He still got the little bat around.
He got third place. He got third place.
Yeah, that is not winning. That is not.
He still had individual immunity within that tribal council. That's the same. The same thing could be said if it was a split tribal and one team went first and the other team went second.
Yeah.
If the team that went second, that lasted longer than this, and like let's say in the first one, okay, let's say if it was Genevieve that won first on that one, and then like Hunter, Teeny and TK. I'm just pulling out names. We're on the other one, and they did.
Yeah, you're just saying
they still won. Genevieve still won immunity right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, they won immunity, but the thing is that in the history books, they're not going to be considered individual immunity winners because of how that tribal went. They only gave it to Kyle, even though he was not the best one in that specific challenge.
I understand. I understand there is an asterisk next to his name.
Yeah.
However, I still count it. I feel the asterisk is a compromise. But I agree. But yeah, obviously, Matt, you sided with Joe as per usual, even though you hate him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt and I have the same opinions on a lot of things, right?
That is correct.
Yeah. Name one thing that we have the same opinion on.
Ryan. We have the same opinion on Ryan. He's an okay guy.
Yeah, okay.
An okay guy.
Yeah. That's your new tagline, I think, your new catchphrase.
I'm an
Is
okay
that the
guy.
is that the next nickname in my nickname Infinity Gauntlet?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Ryan Himbo Wayne was pretty good.
Matt, when I tell you that I was laughing and I had to mute myself when people were pleading to stay in this game, was so fucked up. I was laughing like I was like covering my mouth, like because Wes made me laugh so hard. I just had to like, as people were pleading their cases to stay in the game, I was just like, because that was too damn funny.
Yeah. So yeah, that was good. And then Rachel, I was actually really surprised with her finding that idol, by the way, in the tarp and just doing it kind of in front of people. Like I know that like technically she's behind them, but like if you're messing around with the thing back there, like I don't know. I feel like someone would be like, "What are you doing, Rachel?" And no one paid mind. Apparently, they just let it happen.
That's why she's the best.
Yeah,
she's able to do that in front of everybody.
Yeah.
No, I think a lot of patience went into that. I feel like with everyone going around too. Like I think it is definitely a tough thing, especially because this early in the merge too. There are so many people. You have 10 other people at that beach. Odds are at minimum, like 2 or 3 people are going to be there while you're there, because that's just like the hub. That's the place people go.
Yeah. Exactly.
Which is why it was the best place to hide it, because you have to earn it.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah. The French fries, like this is what Australian Survivor does, I believe, right? They hide advantages in the auction rewards, which is something that definitely I know people have been pitching as like this is the way to still include these advantages, but not be like, okay, everyone, save your money for this specific item,
and then draw rocks.
Yeah, exactly. So, I really enjoyed it. Now every season after this one and 47, because they haven't seen this one, of course, are now going to know that
Everyone's
that's like a
checking.
thing. Yeah.
It's gonna be good. Although,
what if she accidentally ate it?
I was about to say, I wish Andy would have won it because I could see him totally eating that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Just putting it in
we are done.
like, oh.
We are done knocking on Andy. Okay.
No, I'm not.
He had a sexy librarian moment.
Yeah.
He is off the table.
He is going to be the most pivotal player in the post-merge of the season. He told us that point blank. So they put it in the episode. So I'm going to assume that that's going to be fact.
Yeah, but I don't know if they should keep putting clues in food, because what happened on the most recent Australian season, they put it in a banana and the guy almost broke his tooth because he was so hungry that like he was just eating it. So it's just like you have to be careful about where you put things.
Yeah.
Yes,
I feel like notes are the best way, because if someone eats it, it's just paper. Like if you're just eating paper, that's fine. Like, it's not the greatest.
Also,
thing,
if you're taking a bite of it, it's a different texture right off the bat. It's not like you're biting into something hard. It's like it's paper. So like it might like crunch a little bit in a weird way.
Yeah.
And
that's fine. Also, how did they stick it into the banana? Like, was it already peeled?
No, it wasn't peeled. I don't know how they did that. I need to find out, because it was like wrapped up. It's like I don't understand how they got it in the banana without people noticing. But this also reminds me of in Survivor 42, where they actually hid an advantage in the fish that Jonathan won, but he never found it, so they didn't even show it, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, and apparently there was a producer of that season who he was pitching the fish idol for years, and then it happened, and then he got so upset when the idol got thrown away.
Yeah, I think it was Matt and Wagner. Who did that?
Yeah. I
I
also have an irrational fear if I was ever in the auction of Survivor, is like if I got a drink and then I got like all this food, like holding it on your lap like that. Yeah. Like I am so clumsy that I just feel like I would drop everything.
I have the same.
That would be fucked up if you just spend $500 on something and you just.
And like if I'm gonna request to be in the front row, because I'm not dropping it onto my people who might vote me out.
But if you do drop something, it should be that margarita, because maybe if you don't drink it, then you don't go home.
Yeah.
Say no to alcohol, kids.
But Jeff's gonna make me drink it out right away. He's gonna make me do a sip.
Don't fall for peer pressure.
Yeah, what was up with Jeff's British accent during the auction? What was
I think
that?
he was just having fun. I think he was just having fun with it.
Okay.
He's been doing this for 47 seasons. He's like, all right, let me just go straight goofy with this.
Yeah.
Nah, I want the pissed off Jeff, like in Nicaragua, where he just like slams everybody.
We got some spicy Jeff last season. We definitely saw the hints of spicy Jeff coming out. And you know what? It got him a Emmy nomination. So I think that that's the direction that he should be going with, is being a little bitter. Like it's funny. Like a lot of our favorite Jeff moments tend to be those spicy Jeff moments when he kind of like snaps back at a contestant.
Yeah. Especially Colby in Heroes versus Villains.
Yeah, Colby. I think Penner, Jeff and Penner always had a great back and forth.
I mean, my
ass
best
is fair play and Jeff.
Yeah, fair play and Jeff is a good one too. Are
you loaded? And he's like,
they need to do that twist again. Just let them go to to the Fijian village nearby and go have to buy stuff.
That would be funny.
That way, yeah, that would be. Maybe they could do that for 50. Although for 50, I
Mhm.
just hope they do the marooning. So I always love that where they have to try to get all the supplies off the boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. There was, I think, was it? I think it was 33 where they did it also like on land, and there's like a bunch of stuff in like the woods that they
Yeah,
had to like go to find and stuff. Like I'm okay with that stuff too. Like if you
yeah.
don't, if you want to like change it up and be like, here's this. But let's be honest, we're gonna probably get a reward challenge because they love doing all stars. Start with a big heavy hitting reward challenge. So
Mhm.
that's probably what we're gonna end up getting.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What are your guys' thoughts on everything that goes on with this vote? Because it's seemed like there was going to be, like a Gata and Lavo kind of. It seemed like they were kind of maybe hinting at going after Tuku because of last episode. Um, but everything kind of started shifting because at least from the edit, it seemed like Andy didn't want to work with Sierra or Sam, and it just kind of ended up going into the direction of Lavo and Tuku actually kind of working together.
Yeah. I think the thing is, it was like, what makes sense in the moment? And while, yeah, getting rid of Gabe, even though he is
Mhm.
like like that could make sense.
Mhm.
However, when you have a confirmed duo on one side,
Yeah.
it and like yeah, and someone from that tribe ready to flip and something like that, that takes a lot more direction off of like Gabe
Mhm.
or like Sue or Carolyn, and then you go towards that because like, okay, this is our opportunity, especially because one of them doesn't have a vote, so at the very least one of them can't play their shot in the dark.
mhm. But
Mhm.
my favorite part of this whole thing was when they were talking back at camp, and you can see Sam in the background, and they're just openly talking about getting rid of Sam while he's in the hammock. Like, man, that was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also feel like especially from like Gabe and Kyle's perspective, they don't want to take out Sam. They want to have a
Yeah.
bigger guy who's
Mhm.
at least for another round or two to potentially take heat off of them. And
Yeah.
if Kyle or Gabe loses, like immunity, maybe Sam loses, and then it's like, okay, let's see if we can kind of pitch him instead. So I definitely see that. I know why Andy chooses Sierra over Sam because we've been shown that Andy is closer to Sam. They did in like the previous episode, it seemed like they were like Sam's the big like one that Andy is targeting, but I just feel like uh we're gonna keep the story going for a while, and I don't think necessarily Sam's gonna be the next one gone. I think someone else is, and I think it's gonna be kind of
Yeah.
like Sam's going to be around a few more votes at least, and that's going to be the story. Is like Andy, being like, I got to take out Sam, but I also need to make sure that my new allies trust me, so I got to do this. I think we're going to get stuff like that until we get the resolution of that story.
Yeah. I can see that.
Mhm.
I mean,
I,
it could be a thing too where, this is like a bit of a come to Jesus meeting with Sam. And is like, hey, did you know about this? It was like,
Mhm.
yeah, I did. And then like they talk about it and they're like, all right. And that could repair the bromance.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
right now he doesn't have a number one anymore. She went.
yeah. Yeah, what I think is so interesting, it's a next time on Survivor is Sam being like, Andy, go cause some chaos. like it's
Mhm.
almost like you're just like, do the thing that I thought you were going to do at this point. It's like, do it. And Andy's like, I'm so curious to see how Andy's reaction to that's going to be because it is. He should not be causing the chaos. He should.
No, no.
He's in a great spot right now.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be the Q of the season now. Like he
Yeah.
doesn't have to be.
Nope,
Yeah,
not
nobody
at
wants to
all.
be the Q of the season.
Yeah. Unless you think your game's over at a certain point and there's just no redeeming, then sure, just full send it. But Andy is not at that point right now. He does not need to
No,
full
no, no,
send
no.
it.
I feel like he has an upward trajectory from here. I feel like his
Yeah.
story is going in a good direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like you, Neo, you have an upward trajectory.
We'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. This is the Ryan Neo Wayne story arc that we're getting right now. Like he started off as he wasn't doing too great in orgs, he was losing all these drafts, and now he's on the upward swing.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
I
I
know
mean, when you're on the bottom, there's only one way to go.
I know there's some similarities between me and Andy. I get it. Okay.
I wasn't going to
And I
say
have
that, but now that you have said it, I think that's a great point.
Yeah,
someone did say it.
you
Someone did say it in the org.
You are
that
the
I'm
love
in.
child of Andy and Karishma, so you are like the perfect combo of those two.
And they whitewashed me too, so that's perfect. America.
Yay! Yay!
Yeah. Anyway, sidebar. Back to the episode.
Mm-hmm.
But no. Is there anything else we need to cover? I feel like we hit a lot of the major points. Matt, you're really good at like picking up on like very nuanced scenes. Is there anything?
I liked when they were running for the bamboo things that Genevieve was just saying poutine, poutine, poutine. It's so Canadian.
Yeah. Poutine is amazing.
It's
For
so
those
good.
who don't know what poutine is, it is basically fries, and then you have gravy on it and cheese curds, and like there's a bunch of different stuff. Back at Joe and I's old college, there was this poutineery, this restaurant that was like the best. It was the saddest day when it closed.
Yeah, it was a smoked poutineery. If you know about smoked poutineery,
I would go there so often.
Yeah,
when I stopped, that's when.
Yeah, that seems dangerous.
Yeah, that was I honestly, I was like every week I think I was stopping in there. During I would have like an hour long like break in classes at a certain point, and I would just go there and enjoy. I think I had like a bacon cheeseburger poutine that they had. That was so
really good. They had some spicy ones too. There's a reason why once I started taking my health seriously, I stopped going there. But yeah. But man, I had fond memories of smoked poutine.
It's good. It actually has ruined poutine for me. Like so many other places, I actually am like, this is worse than that place. So now it's like I have this like standards of like what poutine can be, and it's just like everything is like still good, but not at that level.
Exactly.
Yeah. No. Back to the episode. I'm glad that I know you guys are trying to get that sponsorship of big
of a closed restaurant.
Yeah. This is our Applebee's. This is our Applebee's.
Well, if you want me to sponsor stuff, I can sponsor stuff. You know, in South Africa, they have steers, and you know what? Why steers is the best? Because flame grilled, it just tastes better. Steers, look it up. But yeah, back to the episode. The only other thing that I would say that I noticed was, well, you guys already talked about Rachel's great play, but like she was able to notice based off the reaction of the people of when she played the shot in the dark that she should not play the idol. That's why I'm rooting for Rachel.
I agree.
Yeah, I think a great player. I just don't see it in the edits.
I don't see it yet. It is still possible.
Yeah, it's still possible.
I feel like if I don't see it by episode 8, then we're getting like an Erica edits, and I just feel like Erica's edits we're never gonna see like random spike of the winner at a certain like later in the game.
You never know.
I think the thing is there's always suspension of disbelief. You don't truly know who it is. Yeah, there are some people who was like, yeah, it's weird we're not hearing from them. You can, kind of like cast them out for intender, but it's like, especially after someone had such a good episode, you can see them like moving further in this game. It's like, okay. And especially when it wasn't like resolved in one episode, it's like, okay, this could be good projection for them moving forward.
Yeah.
The person I don't think is going to win now is Teeny, because like her edit has like nosedive.
Terrible. Yeah. Oh, I was talking to Ryan before you joined, but yeah, I was like, her edit is essentially people just kind of like her. Like that's kind of like her story, and I'm like, that's not really what they would give a winner story to. Like, I think
I'm not counting her out yet.
I think
her and Gabe out.
I think Teeny is going to get 5th place, and it's going to be that like, oh, we have to take Teeny out because we can't let Teeny get to the end, and then she knows she's going out at 5, and she's like, I played a great game. I'm one of the best players of this game. It's going to be like one of those.
She's gonna pull a Liz Wilcox. Wow.
Yeah, I think
no,
she's no, that's a little too mean there. But
that's what I do. I would have beaten all of you.
Yeah. But typically 5th place in the new era has been the person who is perceived to be the best in terms of where they are in the game, but maybe not in the edits, but like at least the players out there are like, wow, this person could win if they get to the end. So we have to take them out.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who all was 5th. So I think there's Julie in 45, Lauren in 44, Carla in 43,
Maria in 46. Who was also one.
Katura.
Katura was 4.
It was 4. Yeah, she was 4 because she lost the fire.
Was 4.
Yeah, it was.
Wait,
Julie.
Who was 5? Julie. Yeah.
It was Julie.
There was Ricard is a really big instance of this as well.
42 may have been
Lindsay.
Yeah.
Lindsay, who also was in that same boat of like she kind of.
Lindsay, I was like so like rooting for her. Like I was like she got severely under-edited.
Yeah, so I'd say out of that, that's most of them. Even Julie, I've heard from like post-game stuff that people really liked her, and so there's a chance she ends up winning if she gets there. So it's even in that situation, which I think she was the least likely out of all those 5th placers. I still think it's like kind of there.
Yeah, and then apparently, if you're a woman, you're going to go out 5th place in the new era. Ricard is the only guy.
Yeah, so that lines it up. Teeny, I'm sorry that you got 5th place, but congratulations on making the finale.
Yeah, exactly. Although there may be 6 players in the finale now. If you do the math of how many players are left and how many episodes we have left, it doesn't look like we're getting a double elimination. So they're going to be. So right now we're on schedule to have 6 in the finale.
I don't know. I feel like there is going to be one either next episode or when there's 8 people left, because I doubt they usually do a double at some point.
Yeah, I mean they have to.
I heard it was going to be December 18th was going to be the finale.
Yeah, but that would be 14 episodes. That I don't know if that's right, but I guess.
Yeah, I mean, what else are they going to air? I mean, they love Survivor, and if they can get an extra episode out of content they already had, I mean, may as well.
Well, yeah,
YOLO. Yeah,
they can air more Summit. So.
Yeah, but like, what would most people rather watch, Survivor or the Summits?
I don't know. Madhu Bennett, he's a pretty good host. He shows up.
He has a good voice. A good voice.
Yeah, he was my favorite villain in the Arrowverse. So
nice. Okay, well, if that does it there, let's get to confessionals.
Because we always value screen time here on the Day After podcast.
Yes.
I love how that's now become part of the intro for it too.
Okay, let me get it up here. Okay, so Sierra going out here goes out with 22 confessionals. So a little on the low end.
Not a whole lot.
Yeah. She definitely got under-edited of the season.
Which is amazing because Gata was like the main focus of like the first like handful of episodes.
Yeah, well, it's because they care about Andy and Sam. And
because Andy's going to win, Andy's going to backstab Sam somehow.
Yeah,
they come back together, and then he just cuts them.
Yeah. I mean, I just feel there's only one person on the season that I think has like a story that's being told, and that's Andy. I just feel like everyone else's story is either muddied or
I don't know. Sue's story about being 45 is pretty good.
Soul,
I mean, he appeared at like episode 4 and became a great character, but
he's actually he's actually having a nice upward trajectory. But I can see him going in the next 2 episodes because they need to get him out.
You're only saying
and
that
also
you want to see
because Joe drafted him.
Yeah.
Well, obviously he's going to go out next episode, and then Gabe. Oh man, you have a hard chance of winning this.
Yeah, no, legit. Those two have the chance to just. We saw in the next episode the first 2 names that were being said was Gabe and Soul.
You're so screwed.
In Gabe's defense, his name has been thrown out a lot, and he's been able to manage.
Yeah. Okay. Going back here to confessionals. Still in first place is Sam with 45 confessionals. He got most of those confessionals in episode 2 and that 16. That essentially puts him over the top here. So it's hard to really judge him as really being the most screen time because he just got one episode where we just kept seeing Sam, I think, just over and over again.
He has a good story too because he got to try pineapple for the first time, and now he's a pineapple guy.
Yeah, pineapple on pizza. That's his next thing.
Oh God, no.
I don't think it is bad. I think I'm not like a stan of it. It's not like a go-to pizza for me, but it is something where, if it's around and I'm in the mood, I'm like, sure, why not?
I do like Hawaiian pizza. I will say I do like Hawaiian pizza. That's the only time I get pineapple, but like if you're in that specific scenario, I will have Hawaiian. Okay. So then second tier in confessionals, we have Gabe at 37.
Oh,
30 several.
He must have had a bunch in episode 2 then, huh?
He had 11 in episode 1. So in the premiere, he was like one of the big stars. And then next up, we do have Andy with 35 confessionals. So pretty good there, pretty good. Next up, we have Teeny with 34 confessionals. So she's only one confessional behind Andy.
How many did she have this episode? Like 1?
She had 3.
Oh, wow.
Surprisingly, Andy only had 2 confessionals this episode.
Huh.
It felt like he was way more in this episode. I felt like he was all over it.
Because he's the winner.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, his stuff is the most important. They give it the most like gravitas. Okay, and then next up we got Rachel with 32 confessionals. Right. So doing pretty good there.
It's a big episode. How many did she get this episode?
Probably 6, 7, somewhere in there.
She got 7. So she's gotten 7 last episode and 7 this episode.
Well, she's been like the main focus, so that makes sense.
For the past couple, so yeah, makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. And then next up, it looks like we have a tie at 26 between Soul and Sue.
Soul.
Okay.
Soul and Sue. And then after that, we got
the 45-year-olds.
Yeah. Next
we look great at 45.
Yeah. Watch that be Sue's winner story. She gets to the end and it's like, guess what, bitches?
Well,
I'm 58.
She still has that idol. So
yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows?
She does.
Yeah. Next up, we got Genevieve with 23 confessionals.
How many did she have this episode?
She had 3.
Okay. Because I know she had 0 for at least one episode.
Yeah, she did get a 0 in episode 2. I do think if you get 0 confessionals in the 90-minute episode format, you are most likely not the winner because you're going to need they'll find one confessional somewhere to give you so that way people know who you are.
Is there anybody left who also got 0 in an episode?
We have Kyle. He got 0. Sue got 0. And I think that's it now.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Genevieve is there. And then next up is, I believe it looks like it's Kyle with 19 confessionals.
He really does not get anything.
Yeah, even though he's got this asterisk of 3 immunity challenges, it's who cares? It's it almost reminds me of Chelsea from Ghost Island, where she won a bunch of challenges. Seemed like she was actually a pretty big threat that season, but we don't care. We don't care because
we barely saw content from her.
Yeah. And then Caroline is right behind Kyle with 18 confessionals.
Oh, and she's never had 0?
She is not. She always had at least 1 confessional. She got 1 in the premiere, though. I also think if you get 1 in the premiere, I also don't think that's a great sign because that means like
because everybody gets at least 1 in the
everyone gets 1. So...
Didn't Rob get 1 in 21? or 22.
22.
I just watched an episode of like Most Obvious Winner.
Yeah, but it's tough to say, like, compare the 90-minute episodes or the 2-hour episodes to back then when it was just like less time. It is definitely kind of a new, it really is a new era of editing style. So
nice.
Yeah. Okay, so that's it. So I believe we can now move on to our MVP and LVPs. I feel as like we're all locked in with the MVP of the episodes.
Rachel.
Kyle. Oh, sorry,
yeah. Oh yeah, I was gonna say Andy.
Oh, no, yeah, I'm going Rachel.
Yeah,
it's Rachel.
Yeah, it's got to be Rachel. You know, even though I have grievances of her in the future, like just this episode in general, she definitely played the best.
Yeah.
So. But then LVP,
Sam. He lost his vote when he didn't. When it was technically, I would say he lost his vote, even though he technically didn't have. It was avoidable, in the sense of like, with the pancake thing, he could have been like, okay, I'm gonna hold out on this because it's not guaranteed that I lose my money, and there might be something after this.
Mm-hmm.
And then also he lost his number one. It is very much on the bottom when he himself is a big threat.
You know what? That's a good point. I'm going to switch over to Sam too, because at least Sierra got the most money. So at least she did something right. Because she's good at Easter egg hunts.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how Sam continues in this game. Because
I agree.
Maybe he becomes the Q of the season. Maybe this has like a random like.
Nah, he's going out at 7. I'm calling it now. He probably goes out at 7.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see him going out at 8. I think. I think 8 is where I would probably guesstimate him going out.
So then who's going next? Saul or Kyle? Probably Kyle.
Yeah, I think if Kyle doesn't win immunity, it's him.
He's out. Yeah, as soon as he doesn't win.
And then if it's not, and if Kyle does win immunity, we're losing Gabe or Saul. Like,
well, Kyle just needs to come into 3rd place again, and then he'll be safe. So
yeah. 3rd place is an individual immunity in New Era Survivor.
Oh, actually, now I just realized he's never actually competed against everybody. Every time he's won, it was like split.
Yeah, he hasn't done it like that. So I feel like we're about to get everyone versus everyone. I doubt they do another splits. So
I can see it happening at 10.
I just hope not. I just don't. I want us just to play the game.
That's fair.
Yeah. Just play the game. Okay. Any more thoughts on this episode?
It was a good episode. I'm glad I got to come in for an actual good episode, because last week was boring.
Yeah.
Last week was not boring. It was only boring because Joe didn't lose anyone.
Well, it was just like the flat. It was just like, by the numbers kind of.
Yeah, we got something that we had already been set up for so long, and it was like kind of exciting that something was happening, but then we kind of realized like, oh, we're just getting this again.
I still like the way it was done.
Yeah. It also muddied any idea of what this freaking earn the merge shit is. Like, it's
I have no idea when the merge actually is now. I have no idea.
Yeah, like legit, this is the proper merge episodes. Like, this is the proper episode.
So when the jury starts, that's now the merge.
Yeah.
It's confusing, but anyway, thank you, Matt, for coming on, hopping on. I know you already plugged stuff last episode, but do you want to plug anything else?
I'm going to do it again, yes. I was about to say the day after, but that's your guys' podcast, but which you can listen to on the Reality After Show, because you guys just did Love is Blind. But for me, you got The Tribe Has Spoken. We just talked to Rob Bittinelli from Survivor South Africa, who's also going to be on Australia versus the World. Great interview. And then we got more coming up with Nicole Capper. And then some of the most iconic characters in South Africa will be coming on.
Did you say The Tribe Has Spoken?
I meant to say the Tribe of Nerds. See, this is what happens when I come on late. I don't know what's going on.
50 points from what house are you?
Hufflepuff, baby.
Hufflepuff.
50 points from Hufflepuff. Slytherin.
That's fine.
That's why we get along.
It's fine because
we get along.
Because it's always rigged for Harry Potter. So, but anyway, the Tribe of Nerds, which is also on the Reality After Show. which they'll be covering, I believe, the Cornetto trilogy starting this week.
Oh, perfect. I love those movies. Those are good. I actually haven't seen the third one. I've only seen the first two. So
the third one's that's my personal favorite. I love that one.
Shaun of the Dead is so good. Shaun of the Dead is like one of my favorites. Shaun of
the Dead is good. Hot Fuzz is a lot of fun as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just love Edgar Wright as a filmmaker.
Yep, Baby Driver, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
That's good. The Ant-Man he never did.
The Ant-Man he never did. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for this episode. That's it for this episode. Hope you all enjoyed.
Yeah, and we will see you all in the next one.
Peace.